Invite Pallavi, the moderator, and I will hand over the mic to you to take it forward and invite other guests. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I hope the alcohol is keeping you straight. You're going to see some mics flying around. Prerna, please. Sir, can I have you on stage, please? The man of the hour. I'm not going to take too much time to introduce the guests. I think it's all there because we are really super excited to start the topic, right? As you can see, productivity to man-machine collaboration. Now, before I start the topic, did I just disconnect something here? It's okay, all right. So before I start the topic, there's a very, very interesting way. We know that spaces influence behavior, right? Can we say the same thing to technology?
So spaces definitely influence our behavior, and technology to some extent, it in fact influences our behavior a lot more, right? Like today, if I have a phone in my hand, all of you have phones, and you'll start looking at it, then no one's listening to me here. The technology plays a very important part. I feel it isolates, it empowers us to do things faster, but in some way also isolates us from the larger human connection, which we all, I think, thrive and need to survive in today's day and age.
Yeah, definitely technology influences more than space. It's an addiction, right? Any technology, because that brings efficiency, that brings much more than as a human, our limitation that we can do. It enhances everything. So that makes us more addictive, and it has a greater influence on human beings.
I will contradict you there, right? That's my job today. See, we humans are wired in a way that we need affirmations. We need that nod, we need that pat on the back. How do you think technology bridges that gap?
Maybe to say, we crave for human-centric approaches. We're tactile. We like touch, see, feel. But with the pandemic and with the whole idea of working remotely, how has that influenced the way we approach things, we approach problems?
Pandemic, I'm still trying to get what you're saying. But anyway, what comes to my mind, on top of my mind, definitely patting and all that, no? With all this AI technology, everything, it's Google and Facebook are good enough to pat on us, and also everything, what you think something, you talk something, it comes there. So it is there all the time covering our mind, soul. Even if you are thinking and talking to, I was talking somebody that I want to eat jackfruit. Night I open my Facebook, jackfruit ad is coming up, popping up. So in that way, technology has taken over all these things. But coming back to work during pandemic, no, definitely it has helped. But I actually don't agree with that. Which she has sent a couple of lines that today's discussion. No, I don't agree that technology can replace human, right? That influences, that is there. But for when we talk about our work and pandemic and all that, we working from home, remote connectivity, all that is supports, fantastic. But the human element, the connecting each other, nothing can replace that.
Absolutely. Do you want to add that, sir?
Of course I want that. I mean, classic example, technology today, the youngsters are addicted. Facebook and Instagram, you want to see that click happening, and I keep counting. But the ability to remember that appreciation is very short-lived. But physically, when someone really appreciated me, put a pat on my back or put his hand on my shoulder or clapped in front of me, or even he just expressed his eyes as an appreciation, you will never forget it. It will be there with you forever. But those are those emotions which will live with you for a long time, make you what you are going to be or what you will reach. The short-term appreciation which you won't remember will not make you the person where you want to be.
I 100% agree with what Rudresh just said, and technology is an enabler. We all know it, we all love it, we can't live without it. But it also is a piece that kind of, as I said, isolates you. It kind of disconnects you, right? Like, we've all had Zoom calls, we've all had WebExes. Like everybody, when pandemic and everybody is like, or even before pandemic, we used to have WebExes. Everybody would be, you would see their faces and people would talk, like, would be on the camera. Now, after the first 2, 3, 4 months of the second wave, people have switched off their cameras, right? They're talking to walls over there. You don't know what's happening. You don't know how that person is thinking. You don't know how that person is reacting. You have no connection with that person. You're actually talking to a wall. Like, there are times when I am on a WebEx, I'll have to say that, guys, please, one rule. That's all. I'm hoping that we're all going to switch on the cameras. Then let's just make it an interactive session, because a physical meeting is always interactive, right? Like, I'm sitting with 4 of us. We are all collaborating. We're all like thinking about the same thing. We're talking the same thing. There is no distraction over there. But when this whole technology comes in play, I don't know what the other person is thinking. I am completely in a different space. The other person is in a different space. I don't even know if we are in the same, we're thinking the same thing, or is that person even present there? So it's a double-edged sword. It kind of like enables you, but also isolates you. So I love technology for a lot of things. I use it all the time. It helps me work better. But I also feel it disconnects me with my colleagues, with my teams, with my clients. It doesn't give me the same time or what a FaceTime could give me. It doesn't just doesn't do the same thing. So I think technology, you use it to your advantage, but then if you overuse it, it can be disadvantageous.
Okay, so coming to your point, the double-edged sword, right? You're dealing with the Gen Y, and it's going to get better.
Yeah.
They don't understand conversations, right? For them, it's a click of the button. I was just mentioning to somebody that cards, we don't even exchange cards now because there's a barcode. Resumes come to us with barcodes. You click on it, you go into their portfolio, right? That's how the thinking is. And they're doing fabulously well even in terms of productivity, right? So where do you feel the human disruption in terms of human-centric approach has to be introduced, or how do we do that with the Gen Y guys?
I was not there for the presentation, but I heard that productivity X% it has increased, right? I feel that we are reacting to this COVID situation, whatever pandemic came, it is a sudden reaction, and we as a human being, we are very adaptable, and we were going to office, now we have to work from home, we adapted to the situation, but we have not tested the time. It is just a 1 or 2 years data that we are talking. What if it continues for many years? We don't know. I don't know, the productivity rate will remain the same, and the kind of the human collaboration and connectivity when we meet, that brings, I don't think any replacement is there. While first 2 years it is nice, or a few more months it would be good, but I think after some time there would be a decline. The kind of assurance that we get when we see people eye contact, or we talk about it, something comes to our mind, no need to fix the meeting, right? No need to schedule meeting, go and see whether he is working from home or office and then go and meet it. We just walk into their cubicle and talk to them. That's totally a different thing.
So, if I have to rephrase the question again, this was more to do with the generation now.
Yes.
who do not believe much in human-centric approach. For them, it's a click of a button, right? For them, you talk to them, however.
I mean,
What
generalizing
happens?
that saying
So
that
I
it's
think
a click of a button.
I would totally agree with that aspect, Pallavi, because I'll give you an example. My nephew, he's all of 4 years old, right? So he literally never went to school and he started his nursery on a computer, right? Like that's what this teacher looked like. But that teacher who's teaching a 3-year-old who knows nothing is trying really hard because at that age, it's all about the human connection. It's not about technology. But he is forced to learn on that, right? So he has become and his elder brother, who's the most social kid, now this kid has no social skills because he's stuck at home, he's looking at a computer, he's looking at a TV, he's looking at the phone. That's what he's learned. Now, I agree with you, the younger generation, our kids, that generation is learning technology. They're doing everything with technology. And I said it's an enabler. It definitely helps us do our job better, right? Like if we have tools, it helps us do our job better. But it also creates that disconnect, right? Like today, we're talking about the attrition rate, right? Like when we talk to so many people across the board, so many clients, the maximum attrition rate is at the entry level, at the junior level. Why is that? Because they have never come to the office. They have no connection with the culture. They have no connection with the people. They are looking at a computer and they're doing the job. So you give them 1 lakh rupee today, someone else gives them 1 lakh 50 or 1 lakh 10 also, they'll jump because it's just changing the computer. It's not even going to a workplace and experiencing that workplace. So I understand it is a double, so we have to push them to be able to enjoy and do that. Again, hybrid works. There will be a hybrid thing where you are able to save time, do whatever, but you have to at some point come and collaborate. Like you right now clearly said that collaboration is at the center stage. How do I collaborate with somebody on all the time on a computer? I don't even know if the person is present or not. So it is, Gen X is there, they're doing that, but it is also, it's productivity at a different level. They're all very individual, self-centric. That's how they get. They don't talk about a team. They don't talk about the larger organization. They don't understand that aspect.
So another question that derives from what you're saying is, are we nudging people to get into silos more? Are they working in silos?
So
are we nudging them towards that?
Pandemic has definitely accelerated that process, right? You were not doing that, but pandemic has forced you to do that. So we have to get back to that.
How is that influencing our business and how is that influencing
It's I'm going to let you patient. Girija as well.
See, I would go back to your previous question, Gen Y. It's quite unfortunate for them. That's why my personal thought process that they are born and growing in an era where the rate of change is so fast. I mean, if you ask many of us, the rate of change was gradual. But the Gen Y, the rate of change is too steep. And they got adapted to this speed. Now when this speed stops, they feel disappointed. That's the biggest threat they are facing now. And that speed also has brought instant gratification. Okay, Instagram also is one of the reference, but see, instant gratification is it's a big danger. When things are fine, absolutely good, but when they go on low in their own life, which is bound to happen. Nobody is going to be having a fantastic life throughout till they die. Everyone will have ups and downs. But this down phase is the one where they need that human connect. Technology will not help them. And it's quite unfortunate they are not learning that now. But whenever they have hit that low, then they will go and learn it. There's no choice.
Yeah. Your nephew, when school starts, no, he'll definitely enjoy going to school than having online classes.
Definitely he loves it now. He's
Yeah.
going to school and he
Yeah,
loves it.
that is something that, and in my view, what is productivity? It is not 1 or 2 years data that we are talking. It has to be sustainable for over the years, and it is not just one way. It is like complete. A person has to be what they are giving to the organization, at the same time personally also their productive time, right? If we are calculating their commute time will be reduced, 100% working time. It is beyond that what they get intangible gain by meeting people, interacting with them. That is much more than what we count instead.
I agree with you when it comes to an age group that we can influence and impact. But here we're talking about individuals who already made their mark, right? For example, you have a group of people and no persona is same. There are 5 varied personas that walk into your workspace. There are introverts, extroverts, there are socialists. I mean, you name it all. You find all kinds of personas walking into your space. And somewhere, I must say that technology is one platform that enables them to speak one language. And it works positively for them, right? And that's why you see the adaptation of people picking up technology very easily and making that their way of working and making it successful. What's your thought?
So,
I will go this time first.
Rudresh, you don't want to maintain silence because it would have been also at home, right?
I lost the question.
Personas walking in together,
Different personalities,
platform, it works positively for them while we talk about human interaction. Does that?
See, evolution, we need to go back some few millions years back. Human brain got evolved over millions of years, and our brain is networked well for observing and interaction, especially on who's threat for me, who's friendly for me. This is inbuilt. That programming is done over millions of years. Technology change, what we are talking now is, I would say 0.1% of the duration. I do not think the technology is going to change and rewire even Gen Y's brain as of now. It's the, how do I say this? Persona actually is not happening through technology. Persona happens only if you interact and you observe various different kinds of person. Today morning I was speaking to my son and he went and met a few premium customers and he observed all of them, how they were behaving, how they were talking, what's their body language. Then he realized what are the elements of soft skills. Technology cannot teach you soft skills, and soft skills are very, very key to succeed in your life, irrespective of whichever profession you are. And that can happen only when you interact with people. It cannot happen over technology, especially soft skills. No.
Again, I've said that earlier as well. It's an enabler. It kind of helps you in everything, right? Like it gives you an equal platform to perform, to work. But also, again, if there's someone is an introvert and the other person is an extrovert, that introvert would never be able to come out and be themselves 100%. Like especially in a profession that we all are today, right? Like we are in a services industry, right? For us, human touch is very important. You cannot understand what your teams want or what your clients want unless you meet them. It's not always that, okay, 5 things you tell them over an email, that's all you need. No. How do you run a facility? How do you run a team? How do you interact, being an architect with somebody to understand what they need without like everything just being on a computer? I think it's a services industry where human touch is absolutely necessary. I might be a coder sitting in one room where I don't need to deal with anybody else. I might be fine working in isolation, but there will be very few jobs which are like that. We all need to bring those different personas together. We all need to understand their strengths and weaknesses and work as a team, and that technology can't help with that. It's the human touch that's going to help you do that. where you are able to collaborate with different people and bring them together and make them shine as a team. Technology is just a medium where they can all, it gives them a normal platform.
On technology platform, we wear Zoom persona, WebEx persona, a Skype persona, but actually when we meet, we have real persona.
So, okay, I'll put it this way, all right? Each of us over here have a different persona ourselves, right? I'm an introvert, actually. I love my space. I love being in that shell of me. And I talk only when I feel the need to talk, right? That does not mean that I don't appreciate being interactive like what I'm doing now, right? So it's wrong to say that an introvert likes to stay solos, and it's wrong to say that an extrovert is out there in the public. It's not that. But what I'm trying to say here is that technology then becomes unanimously the language for everybody to communicate equally across the board. I wanted to understand what your thought process is in that.
Are you saying technology will help in that kind of? No, I don't agree at all. We have learned over the years, we are interacting with, as you said, multiple personalities we meet, and we do understand that if somebody is introvert, we recognize that, right? All of us have in our close circle probably very different personality than what we actually are, and we respect. There are my close friend, she is very extrovert. I consider myself introvert, though others won't agree. But still, she's my close friend. It is possible. I mean, human interaction, what he was mentioning, right? There is a kind of, by default, as a human being, we have certain skills, right? That the DNA is there, as a, not individual DNA, I'm talking about as a human being's DNA. That will help us, that has the that's own wisdom to interact with them and learn that. Actually, technology platform will miss that, to understand other person. That we all take that uniformity, right? We show something else to the world.
See, technology is fantastic where there is a process to be done. As Shobha said, routine works, process, control, amazing. Technology has squeezed that time to a fraction of minutes. And at a click of button, still your process complete. Where the human connect is required, which is outside the technology, is for the unique jobs, unique things which happens in our profession, day-to-day basis. I mean, when I was a young engineer, I has to get approval from my boss. I used to see his eyes, is he in a good mood or is he in a bad mood when he's going to his cabin? Will I get approval for my proposal or it will be thrown away? I exactly knew what has to be done. Should I meet him today or should I not meet him today? I will go tomorrow, I will come back in tomorrow meeting, because I knew how to get things from him. That I have learned over human interaction. But today I get requests for approvals, irrespective in whatever mood I am.
Where you are.
It's just on an email, sir, please approve this so-and-so, so-and-so. If I am in a good mood, I will say yes, okay. If I am in a bad mood, I will put so many questions on that. It will be difficult for them to get approved. So there is an element of human connect outside the process flow, where unique things have to be done or one-time things have to be done. That's where the human connect will come.
And I think to add to that also, it's the innovation, right? Like when four brains come together and talk, discuss, and think, I think they can do wonders, right? Like when I'm working alone, I don't know how much can I work through a technology platform. All of us can, sit in 4 different locations in 4 different parts of the world and do that. I don't know. It is possible. I'm sure that the new generation would come up with solutions to that as well. But I think when you 4 people brainstorm and come up with and collaborate, and then they can create a lot more innovative things than just a technology platform. That technology platform can help you accelerate the process. it will make it, if things were happening in like 10 days, it would happen in like a day. Agree, it will accelerate the process. But the initial thinking, it cannot replace human brain. It can't replace human touch, it can't replace that. It can only help enable the process.
Funnily, all the technology which we are talking today are all invented in garages when four fellows sat together.
Yes.
I just want to mention one of my friends is leading a business group in another organization. He was mentioning most of his team members are new in the last 2 years. And though he is having many calls with them, when now people are coming back to work, he feels very strange. He feels like, what kind of a leader I am? I don't know them. Though continuously from 2 years he has calls, he finds it too difficult. And how do I run it? Challenge? It is a big challenge for himself. I don't know them. They are totally different. In my past experience, I never faced this kind of a problem.
So I think I'm allowed last question.
Yes.
Thank you. So Deepesh, you were talking about productivity in terms of percentages, right? And it hasn't dipped in the way the world is working right now. And while we are debating in terms of technology and how that has disrupted the human-centric approach, but the results are showing otherwise.
May I clarify something? You can.
Sure. Yes.
Because I didn't talk about it, I just showed it there. So I just thought I'd clarify.
So I think, okay, the data I presented and I didn't speak about it. I only said that hybrid, which is flexi, the most important reason is talent retention. The second point did talk about productivity, which actually is from the research paper of Professor Nicholas Bloom. It is available on the internet. He's a professor who's been researching remote work for a couple of years, not with pandemic, a couple of years before pandemic. In fact, he also went, it's available on YouTube and also on his website. He actually said that the productivity increase is because of actually certain jobs require a little isolation. So, and he actually went ahead and said that his probably 5 years of research, it is difficult to prove, but as of now the data says that. And he almost said to the point that, and frankly, whatever companies are doing in 2 years, that data set requires far more research and far more data points. So his point was very specific that yes, sometimes you all need our alone moments, we need to think through it, we need to get our thoughts clear. You used an example of programming, coding, or some things which we need to do solo work. So that was, I just thought I'll clarify. He did not in any way make a statement that work from home has a direct proportional to productivity. He did not make that.
I would like to just add one of this. There's another very interesting study which very clearly says that this period of pandemic was actually not transformation in technology. It was just improving the pitfalls of the technology which you had left there. It was what they call as an organization grade or a company grade technology. It was not a user grade technology. So what actually happened is, you use these 2 years to improve that because you were actually in that state. Everybody was in that situation and you could think rightly about it. And that is why you see this increase in productivity. Now is the real challenge. Now what is happening is, the organizations which want to digitize are the ones who want an improved solution and something on top of that. That you cannot do without collaboration and innovation. Right? And this is the test, right? I think Girija, you use this word, that can you sustain this productivity? That is the test which is coming. And unfortunately, 2 quarter results of leading technology companies, I don't want to name them, don't tell you that. So I think we need to, but the debate is not either this side or that side. It's still happening.
Absolutely, I think you just summarized it, and I'm getting looks from them as well.
Yes.
Stop it right now. All right, over to you, sir. Fabulous conversation. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for being such patient audience.